Hi, I'm a digital artist and I have an unhealthy interest in old stuff. Which brings us to the topic. What would famous products look like if they existed 100 years ago? The first product, Monster Energy. Of course, energy drinks didn't exist 100 years ago, which is exactly what makes this one interesting. And considering that word monster is literally in the name, I came to a groundbreaking conclusion. I need a monster. Out of all the vintage monsters like Mummy, Godzilla, or Mike Wazowski, I landed on Frankenstein. The logic is simple. He was brought back to life with electricity. Electricity is energy. Energy drinks are also energy. And out of all the Frankensteins out there, I picked Jacob Elordi. The guy has been doing pretty well with monster rolls lately. I started by cutting out an already cut up and stitched together Elordi. Then I added an old paper texture for the label. And one more important element, hands. I'm just building a rough draft to figure out the composition. Now for the energy, I thought of something natural. I searched for a lightning bolt, but instead I found a regular bolt. And immediately decided I needed that too. So I stuck a bolt into Elordi. God, that sounds wrong. Which is exactly why I stuck another one from the other side. Eventually I went back to actual lightning and added a few bolts to the label. And colored the text in toxic green to communicate that this product is extremely healthy and natural. Lastly, I added the text, something that probably will be banned in 50 years. Probably. Next, I moved on to the main Frankenstein. The first step was making him bald. For that, I placed footage of a bald head on top, removed the extra parts, cut pieces from Jacob's face, and blended everything together. Then I painted extra scars and cuts to connect the pieces. But there was one problem. Jacob still looked way too modern. Since this design is supposed to be 100 years old, I had to give him the look of a vintage printed illustration. I applied a threshold adjustment, and after some aggressive slider abuse, I ended up with this. I repeated the same process to the hand, added a few more scratches here and there. Then I placed Frankenstein onto the package using clipping masks and adjusted the size so the proportions looked somewhat reasonable. The lightning bolts are pink, obviously because pink is power. Shall we fantasize what would happen if someone actually drank this 100 years ago? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Cat food variety isn't exactly shocking anyone. Dry food, wet food, little treats, jelly treats. But 100 years ago? What would Mr. Pumpkin have for lunch? My vision? A cat sitting at a table with a bowl of food, holding a knife and fork, with the product name above. I started with the sketch. First I drew the cat's head, and for some reason, absolutely massive ears. Maybe I'm secretly on team dog. Then I added some guidelines to avoid completely ruining the proportions and sketched in the eyes, nose, and a little tongue sticking out. Unfortunately, I still ended up redrawing the ears, because this stopped looking like a cat and started looking like a rabbit. Next I drew a little cowboy scarf, which is a much nicer way of saying bib. After that came the body, two paws holding a fork and knife. I could have drawn them from scratch. Instead I traced some footage. Work smart, not hard. I left only 3 prongs, so the fork slowly evolved into a thirk. Finally I added a metal cat bowl filled with food, lowered the opacity and traced the outline. I placed the sketch onto the can. Then I copied the background and text from the first draft and moved them into the main design. Then I started drawing the final outline over the sketch. But as a result I hate the stroke. But I trust the process, bro. Time to bring some color into the cat's life. Starting with the most exciting color imaginable, beige. I also replaced the original red and yellow colors on the can with more vintage looking shades I found on Pinterest. Then another vibrant color entered the chat, gray. I used it for the bowl and cutlery. And as a little treat for myself, I added green to the knife and fork handles. To keep the composition connected, I reused the red background color for the scarf. The food in the bowl turned into chocolate pudding. Or, actually, no or, we're all adults here. So at this stage I had painted the table, changed the outline color, colored the details and the cat's face. Base colors, done. For the details I wanted a more interesting textured brush. He ended up looking a little dirty, which is fine. 1920s, factory shift just ended. I picked brush that looked a bit like pencils or soft chalk, which fit the style of packaging from the 1940s and earlier. A lot of those illustrations were created with these materials. Obviously I wanted a few more highlights and shadows. Then I added whiskers, because we're accurate and because cats need whiskers to navigate space. Do you know where you are right now? You're on YouTube, kitty. I brought back the text and background that had already been prepared. Then I added a dotted texture overlay to give the can some surface texture. Where there's one texture, there should be another texture. So I added a layer of scratches as well. The idea was to make it look like an old can that's been sitting around for years. And technically, the design was finished. But the cat looked way too happy. Was this possible 100 years ago? ago? Wasn't it a Great Depression? Sorry, Cat, I couldn't rewrite history, but I could redraw your face to match the historical context. Now Cat gets a sad expression. This man has bills, 3 kittens at home, and he just got hours cut at work, so the optimism had to go. A cigarette is the only treat he can afford, but the bowl cannot be empty. It's a product packaging after all. So I made a charitable donation, a fish skeleton. Stay strong, buddy. And those are the 2 cat food designs I ended up with. Which one do you prefer? 100 years ago, a lot of stuff came in cans to make it last longer. So yeah, chips probably would have been canned too. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I already have a can mock-up and I'm too lazy to look for something else. Anyway, let's move on to product number 3, Pringles. By the way, Pringles isn't even that old. It was founded in 1967. Sorry. So I've already slapped a chip and some legs onto the can. That's our main character. We're going for something spicy. First I drew the arms like he's holding his head. Then I moved on to the face. Eyes shut tight like he's squinting. And he's squinting because these chips are spicy. So naturally, fire will be shooting out of his mouth. I also drew the legs pulled up toward his body. I roughly marked out where the text would go. Then I rewarded both myself and the design with a star. And on that star I added the text Pringles. The font is retro too. Literally has the word retro in the font name. After playing around with fonts, colors and outlines, I added another text block underneath, spicy pepper flavored. And for those who don't read labels, I moved on to the visual explanation. Drew hot chili peppers. Then I started coloring. The base color was red, which stood out beautifully against the red label. So I painted the tops green. Now it's time for Mr. Chip. The concept stayed exactly the same as in the sketch, so I jumped straight into the final outline. I went with fairly neutral tones. Then, like a true gentleman, I dressed Mr. Chip properly. Gloves, shoes, magnificent mustache, bow tie. Very much 1920s. Some more tweaks here and there, and finally, I added highlights to the nose, eyelids, and cheeks. The peppers got some updates too. More specifically, the fire next to the peppers. I deleted it. Instead of redrawing the flames, I used footage. I must have been genuinely angry while making this, because eventually I decided the whole thing needed even more fire. Might be a metaphor for life, might be not. And that's the final result. So what do you think? Was it worth me getting slightly burned in the process?